Hello everyone, we'll be starting here soon. Just waiting for everybody to connect. Beautiful. All right. So there is this specific kind of exhaustion that sleep really can't fix. It's that heavy static feeling that's in our bones that really comes from being a sensitive soul in a world that never really seems to stop moving. And right now, with this new moon at the 25th degree in Taurus, the universe is finally putting that emergency brake up for us so that we can take a breath. And just a few days ago, I was actually caught in this wave of collective anxiety. I was standing at the line at the DMV office, which I know many of us don't like to do. And I really just felt this heavy fog come over me. And I had to just take a second and breathe and just remember that the earth, Mother Earth, is actually right beneath us, right? And that it holds a frequency of absolute stillness that's far more powerful than any crowd's noise, right? Any external noise that's around us. And by remembering that, I was able to stop, take a breath. I was no longer being that lightning rod for the room, right? Picking up everyone else's energy. And I started being the anchor for myself. And today I'm going to show you how you can do the same. So if you've been feeling like you are this walking raw nerve, you literally can't afford to miss this live. I'll be sharing with you how this new moon in Taurus may affect you as a sensitive soul. And I'm going to be showing you how to flip the switch from being a lightning rod where you're constantly stuck picking everyone else's stress to becoming a human grounding cord through a sensory sovereignty ritual. And if that sounds good to you, then I want you to go ahead and type ready in the comments below. Let me know that you're officially done with feeling like a sponge and taking everything on, and that you're really ready to feel like a solid rock, right? Feeling grounded and unshakable. And while you're there, please go ahead, say hello in the comments. Let me know you're watching this live or if you're catching this on the replay. And for those of you who are new to my lives, my name is Jennifer, and I'm a compassionate, loving ascension guide. And I really do specialize in helping empaths and sensitive souls navigate these cosmic shifts without losing their sanity. And we look at the stars not only to see the cosmic weather map of everything that's going on, but also to gain practical tools to manage our own energy. But before we dive into the astrology, if you do find this helpful, I really would appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. You can hit that notification bell because I do deep dives like this for every major lunar cycle to make sure that you stay grounded and centered in your own energy. And so I would like to kick off today by asking you a question. I want to know on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being totally zen, and 10 being like that walking raw nerve that I was talking about earlier, how has your energy been this week? I know for a lot of people that I was talking to, and even for my own clients, they were really feeling like they were on that 8, 9, 10 part of the scale. And I want you to let me know in the comments, where do you fall in, right? What number would you give yourself? And while you do that, I'm going to go ahead and start sharing with you some of the information for this new moon in Taurus. So this new moon is happening on May 16th, which is this Saturday at about 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern time, and it's about 9 p.m. Universal time. And it's going to happen at 25 degrees and 58 minutes in the sign of Taurus, so almost 26 degrees. And Taurus, just to tell you a little bit about Taurus, it is the sign that represents our physical body, our worth, and our senses. And the moon actually loves being in the sign of Taurus because this is where it feels the most nourished and comfortable and powerful. And Taurus is also known as being one of the most stable signs in the zodiac. And at 25 degrees, you can think of it like that solid as a rock signature, Or maybe you want to see it as the deepest part of a root system where it's just really, really strong. And that's because in astrology, the late degrees of a sign, right, we're talking about that 25 degree, it does represent mastery, mastery of the physical realm. So right now, you aren't just learning lessons from Taurus anymore, you're actually learning to master them when we hit those late degrees. But the problem is, for a lot of empaths and sensitives, they tend to live in the energetic space or in the energy around us. And that's because we're constantly scanning the room, we're sensing, we're thinking, we're picking up signals from our environment and from the people that are with us. And that can put you in a state of hypervigilance. And so, what is the solution to this? Well, having this new moon in Taurus, I want you to see it like a cosmic anchor for us. Or you might want to think of it like a weighted blanket. So it's going to ask you right now, what makes you feel safe? And what also feels stable to you? And by doing this, it's asking you to really drop from, we'll call it the astral realm, into more the physical realm, or you could see it as forcing your energy from being way out here, let's say in the ethers, to now bringing it down into your physical body. And by doing that, you're going to start to experience more of a nervous system recalibration the more that you are in your body. And then we have the algo factor. So with this new moon being so near that 26 degrees in Taurus, this is the degree of the fixed star algo. And algo represents passion and intensity and transformation. And so there could be this theme with it about not wanting to lose one's head versus staying grounded. And so for us sensitives, this can manifest as a feeling of intense pressure from the collective. So the lesson here is to use that Taurus bull energy. And I want you to think about it. You can't force a bull to move. The bull is only going to move if it wants to. So you're going to want to use that same Taurus bull energy to help you stay immovable in your own peace, even if the world outside feels really chaotic. And that brings us to Saturn. So I want to talk to you a little bit about Saturn. This new moon also has a supportive sextile with the planet Saturn, which is the planet of structure. And so the impact for a lot of us empaths and sensitives is that it's going to help us trying to set our boundaries. Because when we do try to set them, they can often feel flimsy, or we can tend to feel guilty even for having them. And so the shift here is that Saturn is going to support you by giving your boundaries some bones or some structure to them. And it's making it easier for you to say no without an explanation. So I want to remind you, no is a complete sentence. And it really is about building a life that's sustainable for you and not just a life that is helpful to other people. And now we can talk a little bit about Taurus and Venus. So because this is a Taurus new moon, that means Venus is in charge. And that's because Venus rules the moon. And it's currently in a position that emphasizes self-worth as net worth. So the core message here is that your worth is not defined by how much you do for others. It really is important for you to feel worthy of rest, because if you don't, then you will become depleted and you won't be able to manifest all the abundance in all forms, right, in your own life. So this moon is helping you to rewrite your internal blueprint. If you're asking yourself, and these are really important questions to really start to ask yourself, I should say, can you feel safe by just existing? Because when a sensitive person feels really safe to be in the world, safe to be in their own skin, then their manifestation power doubles. And that's because we're no longer just manifesting things, right? We're actually manifesting safety within our own life. And so I just want you to take a moment right now. And if you could manifest one thing that makes your physical life either feel more stable or maybe more luxurious, right? We'll pull in that Venus energy. Whether that's a new home, a healthier body, or even just more rest, what would that be for you? I want you to go ahead and type it out. I want you to give it some life. Put it in the comments, and that way you're letting the universe know what you're setting your intentions for. All right, I have a couple more things I just want to point out for us empaths and sensitives. The first one is because Taurus rules your senses, you might also find your sensitivity to sound, to light, and even food become heightened during this time. And I don't want you to see this as a burden. I want you to view it like a compass, and I want you to use your senses to decide what actually gets to stay within your own energetic space. And with this being connected to Venus, once again, Venus is the ruler of this Taurus moon, you are being asked to look at where are you overgiving? And this moon reminds you once again that you can't pour from an empty cup. It's going to be really important for you to take time to rest and to nourish yourself. And with Venus, there's also that element of beauty. So for a lot of us sensitives, whenever we think about having a boundary, it can usually feel like a wall. You know, a lot of people describe it as kind of like this huge brick wall. But under this moon, I want you to use the energy of Venus and see a boundary more like a beautiful garden fence, where it protects what is beautiful and sacred, but it keeps out all unhelpful energies. And you can use this garden fence as a symbol to define where you end and where others begin. And with Taurus ruling over the moon, right, and ruling over our worth, I should say, I want you to name one boundary you're going to set for yourself this month to protect your peace. Maybe it's having no phones, like no access to phones or electronics or social media after 8 p.m. Maybe it's saying no to extra projects at work, right? Because a lot of times we have our own work and then people come to us and ask us to take on more, right? So maybe it's saying no to those extra projects. Whatever it is for you, I want you to write it down and then make it a contract with yourself. So that way you'll stay with it and stick with it and really honor who you are. All right. If today's message did resonate with you, then once again, I just want to make sure that you hit that subscribe button on YouTube, that you ring that bell so you get notified every time I go live. I go live for each major cycle, lunar cycle that's happening, once again, to help you stay centered and grounded. And if you feel like you do need some extra support, especially with this Taurus energy, you want to know maybe where it's landing in your own personal birth chart, then I do have a few spots open for a one-to-one soul strategy session this month, and you can find the link in the description of this video. I would also encourage you to share this video with another sensitive soul who may need to hear this message today. And I do want to leave you with just reminding you that your sensitivity is not a flaw, right? I want you to see it as a high frequency tool that just needs a better grounding wire. And this new moon can be that wire for you. And before we go, I did want to share with you that sensory sovereignty ritual. So on the new moon, on May 16th, I want you to put your bare feet onto Mother Earth, whether that's on the grass, on the sand, the dirt, maybe at the beach, whatever you have access to, even just for 5 minutes. And I want you to imagine while you're doing this that you are connecting with your very own Earth star. I want you to allow yourself to feel safe and supported by Mother Earth, because she's here to love you and support you and send you so much unconditional love. I then want you to reclaim your space here upon the earth. And then after you do this, I want you to go about your day and be the grounded light that the world needs today. And with that, everyone, I just want to thank you so much for spending your time and energy with me. I am sending you so much love from my heart to yours. I hope you have a happy new moon in Taurus, and I'll see you in the comments and on the next live. All right.